Good morning and welcome to yoga. Today we are going to focus on a really slow and gentle practice, all about opening up through the hips and finding a bit more space in the body using the breath. It is the first full week of December, and I don't know about you, but my calendar is just so full and so busy, and I feel like I'm rushing around trying to get everything ready before Christmas. So I thought it would be nice just to take a bit of time just to slow down, and just really connect with the breath, connect with the body. We're not rushing in this practice. We are taking it nice and slowly. So at the end of the class, we're going to come into our Restorative Bridge. So I've got some books, which I'm going to use as a block. So if you're at home and you don't have a yoga block, grab 3 or 4 books, and we can use those at the end of class. If you want to use a strap, you can. If you want to use a cushion to sit on, you can, or just for a bit of softness on the mat, you can. Grab anything you need now, and then we're going to start lying down in Supta Baddha Konasana. So that is lying on the back with the soles of the feet together and the knees dropping out to the sides. And if you want to, go ahead and you can use your books underneath your knees or your blocks for a bit of extra support if this is feeling a little bit too intense. Otherwise, you can just let the knees hang out to the sides, arms by the sides. And then you might keep your arms where they are if that feels comfortable, or if you want to, you can bring one hand over the belly and one hand over the chest. And we're going to start to deepen our breath together. So allowing some deep inhales to travel through the body. You might inhale through the nose, exhale through the lips, or you might inhale and exhale through the nose. Just depends on whatever feels best for you. In this class, there's not so much of a focus on ujjayi breath, so that's the breathing with sound by constricting the throat. Instead, it's more of a meditative focus. So we're still elongating the inhales and exhales gently, but the focus is more on keeping our mind aligned with the breath. To try to relax through the jaw. Notice if your tongue is like stuck to the roof of the mouth and pressing against the teeth, and just see if you can relax it, letting it drop down away from the roof of the mouth. Feel the muscles of the face just smooth out. And then I'm going to set an intention for us for the rest of this practice, which is to surrender. So surrender into the slow pace of the class, surrender into the deeper, longer held stretches. When you're ready to, start to pull your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a bit of a squeeze. If you were using your blocks, you might just put them over onto one side next to you on the mat. We won't be using them for a little while now. And then let the feet come down to the mat, and then let the knees drop down to the right hand side. And you might extend the left arm. So this is a really gentle twist. Your knees could be hovering in the air. And then switching sides, just pulling the knees up, letting them drop towards the left. Right arm is extending. Bringing the knees back into the chest, we pull our knees in and come into happy baby. So maybe grabbing onto the ankles, maybe hooking around the big toes, bending the knees really deeply, keeping the lower back on the mat, and then peeling the feet so that the soles of the feet are pointing up towards the sky. Take a few deep breaths, and as you take those inhales, feel the breath moving through the body, lifting the belly, traveling to any tight areas, maybe around the hips and the groin. You can start to sway gently from side to side. Good. And then pull the knees in, hold behind the knees, and then just roll maybe once, maybe twice, up to your seat. Coming into a nice cross-legged seat with the ankles underneath the knees. And you can prop up your sit bones with a block or with a cushion if you would like to. Moving into some seated cat-cows. So inhale, we're going to lift our elbows up, spreading the fingers wide, and your elbows are in line with your shoulders. And on your inhale, push the elbows back, chest forwards, and start to look up. On your exhale, rounding the spine and pulling the elbows forwards until the palms of the hands touch, tucking the chin. Let's do 4 more. Inhaling, nice and slowly. Exhaling. Rolling forwards and back on the pelvis. Good. And then bringing the hands onto the knees. Lift the chest. Bring the right hand behind you, left hand onto right knee, and gentle pressure on the knees start to twist. So on your each inhale, you lift the chest a bit more. And on your exhales, you look back behind you. Good. On your next inhale, look forwards, release. Same on the opposite side, so right hand to left knee, left fingertips behind, inhale to lift the chest. And exhale to twist. Using your breath to access the posture. Good, and then coming back into your normal seat, and we're going to roll over the knees, and come into tabletop. So onto your tabletop, and now we're going to move into a more traditional cat-cow. So hands are coming right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, press the tops of the feet down, draw the belly in, and then on your inhale, you're going to just start to lift through the chest, lifting the tailbone, drawing the shoulders back, looking forwards, slight shift forwards of the body. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rounding. One more inhale, lifting. And exhale, rounding the spine. Good job, really pushing the mat away, coming back now into tabletop. Walk the hands forwards, drop your forehead down towards the mat, and come into your puppy pose, reaching through the arms, feeling the stretch kind of underneath the armpits, the sides of the body, as well as the upper back and shoulders. Sink your heart space down towards the mat. Breathe deeply. Then lift back onto the hands, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. And from there, you're going to tuck the toes and move yourself into your first downward facing dog. So lifting the bum up and back, pedaling through the legs. bending the knees one by one, and just warming up into the shape of your downward facing dog. Knees might stay slightly bent in your downward facing dog today. That is fine. And we're just going to start to walk the hands now back towards the feet. Make sure the feet are as wide as the hips. Your knees might bend as you get back there. Let yourself hang in ragdoll. So hands could be trailing on the mat. You might grab opposite elbows here. Try to relax the soles of the feet. Softness through the knees. And then you can either stay here or you can sweep the arms behind the back, interlacing the fingers and shrugging the shoulders up and over. Really tuck the chin, let the neck be super nice and long. And then release the hands and start to walk back towards downward facing dog. So hands come forwards. Good. Hold it there for 2 or 3 deep breaths. And then look forwards, bend the knees slightly, and start to walk the feet up towards the top edge of the mat. Let yourself hang, bend the knees, and slowly start to roll up towards the top of the mat, towards standing. Light bulb is in the way. Good. Right. We're going to come through a few half sun salutations before coming into our standing postures. So from here, coming into Samastitihi, hands by the sides of the body, rolling the shoulders back, bring the palms towards heart center. Take a deep inhale. Release through the mouth. Good, and then inhale. Start to reach the arms all the way up, looking up. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Bend the knees as you go, coming into Uttanasana. So you're standing forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Maybe hands to shins. Maybe fingertips to the mat. And then exhale, fold again. Bend the knees and inhale, roll all the way up to standing, head coming up last. We're going to do that twice more. I'm just going to turn off this light because I don't think we need it anymore. And it is in the way. So let's do 2 more of those half sun salutations. So inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. Exhale, folding over. Try to hinge from your waist as you fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees and slowly roll up the spine, rounding up really. 1 more inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold once again. Bend the knees and slowly roll up. Good. From here, bring the palms of the hands together. Take a big inhale. Release. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up high. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, look up halfway, extend the spine forward, roll the shoulders back, and then bring the hands down, step back into your plank, and then drop your knees, bend the elbows, and lower yourself down towards the mat. From here, inhale, baby cobra, let's hold it here. Really press the tops of the feet down, send the elbows back, roll the shoulders back for 3, 2. On 1, press into the hands, send the bum back to the heels, child's pose. So sitting back, big toes are touching, we sit right back, forehead comes down, and relax the upper body. From your child's pose, reach the arms forward, look forwards, tuck the toes, and come into your downward facing dog. You might keep the knees bending one by one. If you're still warming up into this shape, you might feel ready to come into a nice straight-legged downward facing dog. You might keep your knees bent throughout the entirety of the class. Hold here, start to acclimatize a little bit more to the shape. Good, and then bend the knees, look forward, take a big step, come to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Shoulders rolling back, nice long spine, and then exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, reach all the way up high. Good, and then exhale, fold straight back down. Inhale, look up halfway, and then exhale, bring the hands down and just step straight back into your downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. And then on your inhale, lift your right leg up for three-legged dog. And then exhale, step the right foot in between the hands. And drop the left knee down. We're coming into our low lunge. So untuck the back toe. Hold for a moment here with the fingertips down on the mat. If you need to grab something, which I do, for underneath the knee, then do that now. Just have quite sensitive knees. I don't love being on the hard ground. Good. And you can stay here if this is enough, or we're going to bring the palms onto the knee and start to lift our belly up. Good. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you're going to reach the arms up, and then we're going to cactus the arms just like our cat-cow from earlier in the class. So finding that opening through the front body, through the front of the hip. Really squeeze the legs into the center to find that stability. That's your foundation there. Let's hold here for 3 more breaths. 1, remember you can take any option that I've shown you. 2, 3, good. From here, straighten yourself up, maybe pulling the front foot in slightly to create more of a box shape with the front leg. Then we're going to inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, look over towards the right and hook the elbow on the outer edge of the knee. From there, you're going to bring the palms into heart center and look over the right shoulder for your twist. If you want to take it further, you can tuck the back toes and lift the back leg, or alternatively keep the back knee down. Holding for 3 more breaths. 1, press the palms to center. 2, lift the chest and the spine out of the hips. 3. From here, we're going to spiral into our reverse warrior. So you're going to look forwards and you're going to tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, then turn the back heel down, reach the back arm all the way back towards the back leg, front arm reaches up towards the sky. Good, taking it up a level here, off the ground, bending into your front knee, reaching up. Remember, this one is more about this stretch through the right side of the body. Try to extend both sides out of the hips. And then exhale, windmill the hands down and step back straight into your downward facing dog. Hips up and back, downward facing dog, holding that. Remember, if you'd like to take a vinyasa to keep the heat in the body, that's always an option for you in this class. But as it's a slow flow, I'm not going to direct them for every single transition. Let's do the same on the left side. So inhale, the left leg sweeps up. And then exhale, we're going to step the left foot in between the hands. Arrange yourself with a prop if you need to. And first of all, just bring the fingertips down. Press the back foot down into the mat. Coming into your runner's lunge. Lifting the chest. And then maybe if it's feeling good, you can come into your next variation with palms on the front knee. Gentle bit of pressure there on the knee, just kind of pushing your upper body away from the leg. And then maybe coming into slightly deeper front body opening, like cactusing the arms, lifting the chest. For 3, try to point the ribs up towards the sky. 2, on 1, release. Pull your front knee in, slightly front leg, and then right arm is going to reach up, feeling the stretch through the right side of the body. And then we're going to hook the elbow, bring the palms into heart center, and come into your twist. If you did so on the previous side, lift the back leg, tuck the toes. If not, stay in your lovely twist. Maybe think about opening up through the throat, through the chest. For 3, 2, shoulder blades draw together behind the back. On 1, look forwards, release. We transition into our reverse warrior. As you breathe, feeling the left side inflate and stretch. And then exhale, windmill the hands down and step back into your downward facing dog. And stay in down dog, holding there for a few deep breaths. Again, optional vinyasa. Good. From your downward facing dog, we're going to come into our malasana, so our yogi squat. So I just want you to walk your feet up towards the top edge of the mat. Take the feet as wide as your mat, toes pointing out, heels pointing in, and start to sit down into your squat. So you may have slightly less open ankles, in which case your heels might be hovering. That's okay. You can always fold the mat underneath the heels if you need a bit of extra support. Try not to round like I'm doing here. Instead, use the elbows to press the knees away and lift through the chest, bringing the weight into the outer edges of the feet. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And continuously press the knees away from one another. Good. Then from there, we're just going to take our fingertips behind our bum, bit of support, and then sit down and extend the legs out wide. So for this one, you may want to grab your cushion or your blocks and sit up on them just for a bit of extra support. Good. Extending the legs away. Now make sure you can press the thighs down into the mat, point the toes, flex the toes, feel the difference, stretching the feet and stretching the calves. Then from here, we're just going to slide our right hand down the right leg, and then inhale, left arm is going to reach up and over for a side body stretch. So we're not taking this one too far, we're not reaching for the foot. More than that, what I want you to think about is pressing this opposite hip down into the mat. So we stay level through the hip and we get this stretch down through the left hip, the left side body. Reaching out, maybe even tilting the head and looking up. And then on your inhale, coming all the way up, left hand down the left leg, reaching, and then right arm up and over. Feeling that nice stretch. You might also feel it kind of, there's a really strong big muscle kind of down the side of the lower back that connects into your shoulders, the rest of the back, into your hips, pelvis. You might be feeling a stretch there. Good, and then we're going to come up. And then from here, keeping the legs nice and engaged, so pressing the thighs down and flexing the feet, we're going to start to fold forward. So again, you don't need to think or worry about going too far. Just starting to walk the hands forwards. Maybe you don't go anywhere at all. It doesn't matter. Just starting to lean forwards. Maybe closing the eyes. Maybe tucking the chin. And then slowly starting to walk back. Good. From here, pick up behind the knees and then just start to pull the knees in, bringing the knees together. We're going to come into Camel Pose. So Camel Pose is a back bend. So you're going to come onto the knees. I'll show you from the side. Now you can place some support under your knees if your knees are still feeling sensitive. Mine are usually okay like this. So come into a kneeling position, make sure the legs are about as wide as your hips. So you don't want them to be splayed out wider than the hips here. We're going to come into a more gentle camel pose than you might have usually done. Make sure when you're kneeling, your feet, your big toes are pressing down, but then also the little toe side of the foot can press down. So you're not kind of rolling into the center. Bring the hands onto the lower back. Slightly lift the chin, and then on your inhale, similar to the lunge that we took, we're lifting the rib cage so that it points up towards the sky. Our hands are a bit of support on the lower back, just supporting us in this bend as we breathe 3 deep breaths. 1. Keep the chin slightly tucked. 2, so head isn't just hanging back. And 3, good, coming back, sitting back on the heels and taking your child's pose. So forehead down, arms behind you, maybe knees touching for a more of a counter posture for the back bend. Deeper flexion through the lower back of this child's pose. Good, and then extend the arms ahead of you, tuck the toes, and travel into your downward facing dog once again. And from your downward facing dog, we're going to move into pigeon. So you might raise your right leg up high, bend the knee, and bring the right knee forwards. The shin is at an angle and the left leg extends back behind you. Coming into pigeon. So before we start to fold, let's just come into more of a back bend shape. You might just come right up onto the fingertips and lift the chest. So feeling that openness. I really feel this one kind of through the left hip flexors in front of the left hip. Try to press both hip points down into the mat as you lift through the chest. And then on your exhale, we can start to fold. So you can bend the elbows and slowly lower down. So maybe dropping the elbows down towards the mat. Forehead moving down towards the mat. It might just hang in the air, might come onto a pillow or a block, might come onto the hands. Just taking 3 deep breaths here. With each exhale, release the tension, let yourself surrender. And then push into your elbows, push into your hands, come up, lean onto your right side and release your back leg towards the front. So we're going to keep our right knee bent and our left leg now is going to extend forwards. And we're going to move into our Shavasana. So both hands towards the left leg. And then inhale, start to reach, maybe for the foot, maybe you just grab on somewhere onto the leg. Big inhale, really lift the chest through the arms. And then exhale, starting to fold over your leg, forehead down towards the knee. Just taking a few deep breaths. Don't worry about the depth of the posture. This is a gentle class. Probably not feeling super warmed up at this point. Don't worry, normally you can go a little bit deeper. It's okay. Make sure the left toes are still pointing up towards the sky. Just let our body just start to round over this left leg. And slowly start to come up. Good, from here we're going to move into a twist, picking up the right knee. And then you're going to step this right foot over the left leg. So left leg is straight, right knee is bent, and the right foot is just next to the left knee. From here, left arm wraps around the knee, right hand comes behind, and we just start to extend the chest back. If you'd like to deepen this one, you can always hook the elbow on the knee. That is an option. That's a nice twist. You can use a little bit of pressure there. Of the elbow on the knee, just crank the chest open. And then looking forwards, release. Maybe a little counter twist towards the opposite direction. Then look forwards. From here, bend the left knee. And we're going to come into, we're going to pull the knees in. We're going to step back into our downward facing dog. My bad, zoned out there for a minute. Hold your down dog, take a few deep breaths. Remember, optional vinyasa is there, or just connecting with your breath is absolutely perfect. Inhale, left leg steps forwards. We're bending the knee, we're coming into pigeon on the left side. So first of all, just extend the right leg back away from you. Come onto the fingertips of the hands and really lift the chest. Coming into a little bit of a back bend here in your pigeon pose. This one is a deep stretch through the hip flexor, feeling this in the right hip for sure. Good, and then just starting to bend the elbows to allow yourself to fold over that front leg and coming down into your pigeon. Relax the jaw, try not to clench. Use your breath to surrender. And then press your hands down into the mat, starting to lift yourself up. And then you're going to roll onto your left side so that you can swing your right leg towards the front and come into Shavasana on the opposite side. So left knee is bent, foot towards this inner thigh. We start to lean over the right leg. So don't worry about how deep you're taking it today. Just feeling the stretch down the back of the leg. Take it to the depth that feels good for you today. Some days I can get really deep in this one, and days like today, just happy to let myself round, lean forward. I still feel a good stretch down the back of the leg, and that is enough for me today. I think to find a bit of longevity in our practice, we need to have some days where we don't push ourselves and some days where we do. Too much of one or the other, either we might risk injury or we just kind of don't move anywhere. And starting to come up and we move into our twist. So Ardha Matsyendrasana, as we pick up the left knee, the knee that's already bent, we step the foot over the right leg stays extended for this one. We're going to wrap our right arm around left knee, left fingertips behind us, coming into our twist. So try to stay really nice and tall. Try not to let the shoulders round, but we're rolling the shoulders back. And then maybe you're going to hook the elbow, find a little bit of pressure there. Looking forwards and releasing. Good, untangle the legs. And we're going to set ourselves up for our final posture, which will be our restorative bridge. So, using your bricks, just have them, or your books, have them next to your mat. We are going to lie down on our back. So bridge is a posture that we do all the time. We have done restorative bridge a few times. So, it isn't as easy to slide them under the hips if you've got a pile of books because they can be a bit slippery, so just be mindful. Toes are going to point forwards, your feet are underneath your knees. Then from there, you're just going to press into the feet, lift the hips, and see if you can slide the books, and you want them just right underneath the lower back, so it's like a big, long, wide, flat bone on the lower back. And that is where you want your books. And obviously, you can pile them up really high. You can take one down if it's too much. You can adjust. And what you want is to be able to really rest your weight down into your block or your books. So this is a gentle heart opener, back bend, restorative posture. And we can let ourselves stay here for a few minutes, really, until the end of our class when we come into Shavasana. So similar principles apply, relaxing the face, the jaw, and taking deep breaths in and out. Observing the belly rising and falling. Keep relaxing, keep surrendering. Just observing the slow and steady rhythm of your breath. So it is almost time to come out of this one. If you'd like to stay in it for a bit longer, then please do. Otherwise, we're going to start to set up for Shavasana. So to come out of it, we're going to press the feet down again, similar way to how we came in. Lift the hips, slide the books over to one side, and then slowly come down. You may want to take some final movements from here. So you could take a twist, you could take another happy baby, whatever your body is craving. You can do that right now. If you are ready to come straight into your relaxation, then extend the legs, let the feet flop out, bring the hands down by the sides. Grab something comfy if you need it. And we've got the next 3 minutes in Shavasana. So once you've kind of made yourself comfortable, you can grab a blanket, you can grab a pillow, just coming down. And it may feel good to take Big breath in through the nose. And just let it all out. Maybe again, a big inhale. And releasing. Letting everything go, letting the postures go. Releasing any kind of focus on the breath. And just giving your mind some space. So well done for making time for your practice this morning, or whenever you're doing this practice. Carving out a little bit of time to recenter and ground yourself in what is usually a pretty busy month for most people. Allowing your body to rest in Shavasana. Letting yourself be as comfy as you can. Allow yourself just to think gentle thoughts. Be mindful of how the body reacts to certain thoughts that might come up. Okay, we're going to start to deepen the breath. And you might wiggle your fingers and you might wiggle your toes. You might take a big stretch or move the head. You can do anything you like in this moment to bring a bit of movement and life back into the body. And then you're going to roll over onto your side and stay on your side just for a moment, just to take a deep breath in and out. And then you can press your hand down into your mat and slowly come up to a seat, bringing the palms together. Let the head start to bow. A big breath in and release. You're blinking the eyes open and coming back. So well done. I hope you enjoyed the practice. Hope you're feeling grounded, relaxed, and nice and spacious. And I will see you for our practice next week. Take care.